Okay, today we're talking about, well, we're going to talk about a happy memory of mine. So basically, when I was a kid, I'm thinking, 10, something like that, very young, I wanted to play guitar. As a child, I wanted to be a rock star. I was watching TV and there was rock musicians on TV, and I wasn't cool, that I thought anyway. I didn't really get along with the kids at school, and as a kid does, I wanted to be famous. I wanted to play guitar. I used to grab a tennis racket I had and play air guitar in my room and play guitar. And I begged and begged and begged my parents to get me a guitar until finally they did, and they sent me off to guitar lessons and going off from living in a little country town, driving all the way for like an hour's drive to get to where the guitar lessons were. And it was classical guitar lessons. So we had to do a lot of practice reading sheet music and practice and get it all right and play things like Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. And I had friends at school that could play, and they'd sit there and play chords, and I was so jealous, and I just never quite got it. And I felt like I could never quite get it. As I got older and I went through to high school, I made friends with people that were very good at playing guitar, could sing, could play guitar, and yet here I was with a dream, burning desire inside me to be able to sing for years and years and years and years and years. Now, go back a few years ago now, we had the COVID lockdowns, and during that time, I as people working at home and there was lots of work changes going on, I got made redundant from my job that I'd had for 10 years. Got a big payout, so I had some time on my hands to sit down and just do nothing else but sit around and watch YouTube videos, which I did. So I watched YouTube videos on guitar over and over and over again, and finally I actually got the hang of it. Now I can play, I can sing, I can play actual songs. Like for a long time I could play a few chords that I could play myself. I had the finger dexterity, and I could sort of play one or two chords together and sing over the top of them, but I could never get myself to learn another song. But during that time, when I had that space, I managed to get the hang of it. The reason I'm telling this story is I've recently moved out of Sydney, moved up to the Northern Rivers, and there's a bowling club up here called Bangalow Bowling Club, and every Wednesday night they have an open mic night called Bangalow Brackets. Now, within a week or two of me moving up here, I'd sorted out, I'd found the Bangalow Brackets open mic night, and I went over to the bowling club to go and check it out. Now, I didn't perform that night, I just went to go and suss out what was going on. I'd never been there, never been to an open mic night, I didn't know how they worked. But I loved it there. Like, I just walked into that bowling club, walked out to the back, met some of the locals hanging out in the smoking area in the outdoor veranda section, and I just fit in straight away. I just absolutely felt like I was at home. So the next week came around, and I told people that the reason I was there was to check out the open mic night and perhaps give it a go. So I kind of had a bit on the line. I just met these new people that I liked their company, I got along with them, and I told them I was going to give it a go. So the next week I did. So I took my guitar up to Bangalow Brackets and I put my name down on the whiteboard and watched a few people play, and then it was my turn, and I'd never done it before. I'd never played guitar in public. I mean, I'd played around a couple of friends and I'd recorded a bit of stuff. I'd made some videos and put on YouTube, but I'd never played to a crowd before. So I walk in there and they had a stool, about yay high, where you could rest your foot on it. Now I'm used to sitting on my computer desk chair and getting really quite comfortable, but on this one I was up higher and my leg was dropped a bit further and my leg balanced on the footrest. I put my guitar on my leg and I started to play, and my leg started to bounce. My leg was bouncing and the guitar's going up and down, bounce, bounce, bounce like this while I'm trying to play and sing. And I just got so put off and so nervous, and I completely lost my place. I played the wrong chords. I couldn't work out what was going on. I effectively forgot what a guitar was, and I just balked completely. So I pushed through and I managed to pick it back up. I think I gave up on that song and picked up another one, and I played another song. And once I finished, everybody clapped, which was an amazing, amazing feeling. And that's pretty much the story of a happy moment of mine. Like, that was such a triumphant moment. The funny thing was, leading up to it, I didn't particularly feel nervous. Like, I was telling myself I wasn't nervous. I'd been through things where I was nervous before, and it's like, well, I told myself I was confident, but, you know, my body disagreed. When I got up there, I was shaking. I was physically shaking so bad that I could barely function, but I pushed through it. Now I've gone and performed a few times since then, and not had that same issue. The confidence issues I've got now aren't nerves. What I've got now is I've only played a few songs, played the same songs again. It's more like I don't want to play the same ones. I don't have that same nerves though, that leg shake. It's more of a deeper just resistance. And recently I've not been all that pushed to go up and play. I've been making these YouTube videos and stuff instead. Just check on my time. I've still got 3 minutes to go on my timer here. The reason for today's video, well, I'm doing a 10-minute talk to the camera vlog every day. Today's exercise was to tell the story of a happy memory and to concentrate on smiling. So I hope I've done a good job on that today. I didn't particularly come in and prepare all that well. This morning I thought about what story I might have to tell you today, and I racked my brain for a while, what's a happy memory I could do, and I went, okay, that story of my going to Bangalore Brackets and playing guitar for the first time in public on stage was a good story, and that's all I thought about. So I've come in here today and just told that story off the cuff, having not done it before, so that's fresh. And I hope I did a good job of practicing my smiling and things. I think this is day 4 of this exercise. So the first day, I just talked about my day. The next day was an exercise in looking at the lens, which I think I've done a good job of that this afternoon and today too. And the next day was working on my posture, having good posture. So that was yesterday, and today working on smiling, and I'm hoping I did a good job of that too. And I'm still working on it now. So it's interesting to see. I just last night decided to go back and watch the other 3 videos, and I've been a bit resistant to it. They were just practice videos. I'm not particularly trying to be the most professional. They're just a sense to practice. But I was absolutely struck by how much improvement there was between the first one and the second one, and the second one and the third one. Now, I don't know what's going to happen today. There's been a few ums and ahs, but that's coming. There's a lesson coming where the whole exercise is to not say and ah, so we'll see how that goes. Fascinated. It's a 30-day exercise for me to get through 30 days of speaking to the camera for 10 minutes at a time, every day for 30 days. I've got it mapped out to have different exercises each day, a different focus on the various things like we've discussed, looking at the camera, smiling, posture. Got a different topic for each day. I may adjust it as I go forward, and because I've mapped all that out, but as I'm learning, I'm getting other ideas and can go back and maybe even tweak it, make it more advanced, adjust it. I don't need to stick it in stone. I may change this exercise as I move forward. And just want to check the time on how we're going here. We've got 40 seconds left. I can keep you busy. And I'm really fascinated to see how this is going to go. I think it's day 4. I think I've improved a lot. I've definitely learned a lot already. Today's exercise I think was great. They had this idea of keeping the smile in, and I've tried to, before I came in and started talking to the camera today, read through what the last 4 days exercises were and tried to bring those into this as well. But my main focus was on smiling to the camera and telling a story of a happy memory. I'm very well aware that there was a few times I said ums, and when I started not doing those, I started doing ahs. I think tomorrow's exercise is that one, so I look forward to seeing you tomorrow and seeing how we go with that. That's my timer. 0 seconds. And thanks for being with me today. Look forward to seeing you tomorrow. Cheers.